I've been thinking about for a while is, what is that key element that, you know, we either bring in things we're manifesting or just bring in amazing things. I'm sure everyone on a spiritual journey has had times when they just feel they're like repelling everything, and then there's times when you just are attracting everything, right? And I personally think state is everything, and I've really come to this conclusion. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are just like, no, state doesn't matter, it's not important what state you're in. And I don't think it matters whether you're high or whether you're low, because I've just been tracking times when I've been in that energy and you just like, oh my god, everything is just moving and things are just coming out the sky, and you know, everything's amazing and exciting, and times when nothing is really coming in. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be connected between being high and low, but there is a certain state that I recognize that I am in at all times. And sometimes I'm higher, sometimes I'm lower. I don't even mean vibrationally, but sometimes, like, you know, when you have those feelings when you just feel it's so expansive and you feel so happy and you feel really excited and you bring stuff in. That definitely does bring stuff in too. But there's also times when I just feel very, very void, and I've just totally surrendered and kind of given up, and I'm in some kind of not depressed, but not really happy, just bleh kind of energy. And suddenly something's just clicked and things just roll in. And I've realized that the connection with these things is actually a state of allowing, a state of surrender, a state of not trying to push, not trying to force things. But also not being afraid of things and not being really sad about not having things. And it doesn't really seem to matter whether you're super high and excited with life and just in the moment of life, so you don't really miss those things anymore because you're just really excited with something that's going on, or you're just in a really high vibrational state and you feel in your heart center, or you sort of feeling a bit void. I feel like all these states you can be actually in the same place of allowing, in the same place of not having active resistance to things coming in. It's very much, it is a state of surrender. And I have come to realize that surrender is really the place where the magic happens, which I guess we all know. And yeah, it's not always that easy to get into surrender, is it? People are like, just surrender. But the thing with surrendering is you do have to clear away the reasons why you can't surrender. So that is a process. And I believe that is the most active process of the spiritual journey. It's not really manifesting. I mean, it takes a second to manifest, right? We don't even have to manifest, because let's be honest, I think our inner selves know exactly what we want at all times without repeating it a million times. Really, what we're here to do is we're here to clear away the reasons why our life isn't sort of flowing and exciting and magical. And when we can clear those things, we can drop into a space of surrender. And often we drop into that space and then we come out of it and we have a bit more work to do and we work through a few more things. But I really believe that the key state is being in that very nonchalant state of, I'm not trying to force things, I'm not devastated, I don't have things, I'm not so excited about having these things that I'm like putting all my happiness on these things. I'm not like really depressed, you know, I'm just in a state of neutrality, I guess. And neutrality is a very powerful state in spirituality that I think we don't sometimes want to be in because we think it's boring or it's not as good as feeling high vibrational. But neutrality is a very powerful state, I've come to realize over my time on my journey, because it's where you don't get drawn into emotional triggers, which is so easy to do. Oh, especially in the climate that we live in. I mean, I fall for it all the time. But when I'm in a really good state of neutrality, I don't, you know, I'm not like hype, I'm not getting drawn into these things. And we're also able to not be emotionally upset and triggered by things that happen to us when we're in a state of neutrality. So if somebody dumps us or stops messaging us or what have you, if we can maintain a state of neutrality, we don't spin off and we don't go down negative thinking paths, and we don't, it's kind of a zero state really, where we're not really doing a positive or negative mental diet. We're like in just a zero neutral state. And we have a thought or a desire and it just, you know, it just pops in because, or it just flows in, or things you're not even expecting, things that are better than you expected or exciting things. And I just honestly more and more am finding that state of neutrality a very powerful state to work with spiritually. For manifesting, for non-reaction, for working through stuff, for seeing a situation for what it really is without your mind going off on tangents and creating a story. And I really think that this, neutral state of surrender and allowance without necessarily having to be crazy happy is the magic state. It's the magic place for shift and bringing things in. And that's what I feel like I'm starting to realize, is that key state to kind of get into. And that does take work, and I think it just gets easier and easier to get into it over time. But let me know your thoughts and what you find, and hope everyone's doing well. I'll speak soon. Bye.